be horrible. Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Murphy's Market Minute. It is the 28th of February, late in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Friday, right?
Yeah, end of the week, baby.
Oh, what a wild week. The stock market kind of went in the way of the Zelensky-Trump meeting today, did it not, this week?
Pretty poorly.
Yeah, pretty poorly. But I think it ended up. Well, down for the month.
Well, yeah.
It was down for the month, but the stock market's still up for the year about 1.5, depending on what it is.
And it bounced back some today.
Pretty hard today.
Yeah.
Like 1.5 points or something?
Yeah, I think a little bit over 1.5.
Yeah. I think all the gains for the year have been taken off the table and then came back.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild.
Yeah, it's been a wild week, and I think one of the main reasons for it being so wild was that NVIDIA had announced its earnings, and so much of the market is kind of behind the whole AI, so that NVIDIA is kind of the market maker at this point.
Yeah, there's like a handful of companies that kind of just bury the rest of the fortune, the S&P 500.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because like NVIDIA is the one making these chips, and all these companies rely on it, and so they had the earnings call, and the NVIDIA beat earnings by a few percent.
Yeah,
it just compared to previous like quarterly earnings, it was
less
of a beat.
Yeah, that wasn't funny.
And so they beat earnings by I think like something like 4 or 5%.
Yeah.
And then the next day, the stock drops by like I think 8%, over 8%.
Yeah, because it's not good enough.
It's like make that make sense.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the market kind of fell with that. I think it was yesterday. But
yesterday was a bad day.
I think today kind of bounced back to reality, just realizing that it's really not as serious.
Yeah, and then of course you have all the usual culprits that the media blames things on. I think you have an article about Trump and tariffs.
I just like the updates on tariffs this week. There's a few. Like I know Trump officially confirmed that those Canada and Mexico tariffs are going to be implemented. So that started just in a few days on the 4th. So they had a 30-day pause on that, but that's coming in. So that kind of shook up some of the markets too.
Well, then I think worse than the tariffs on Mexico, didn't he deport Zelensky to Mexico today after that meeting?
Something like that. I know that. I'm pretty sure they literally kicked him out of the White House.
Yeah, they didn't call in ICE.
Yeah, it was one hell of an interview. I was watching that as it was happening, and
they're supposed to sign the mineral deal, do a whole press conference that got scrapped.
Yeah, they were just beefing out in front of everybody. Everybody's there. But I guess I at least appreciate, leadership, whether you liked it or not. At least leadership that fights for us.
Yeah, I just wish they did the same thing to Putin.
Yeah,
but there's different, different people you got to handle different ways, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not in that position. So, but tariffs, Canada, Mexico. I sidetracked us right there with jokes.
And then I think China, he's doubling down. So from raising from 10 to 20, that's also going to start on the 4th.
That's beautiful.
And then I think potentially going to add a tariff on copper. That'd be a 25% tariff. So just a combination of those things. And I think at this point, anytime there's any kind of tariff update, the markets get shaken up quite a bit.
Yeah. And isn't there some pretty cool stuff like Apple announced they're going to spend $500 billion in the United States?
$500 billion over the next, I think, 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's a big investment.
Yeah, they're bringing a lot of their, they're building a 250,000 square foot server manufacturing facility. Manufacturing computer servers.
That's what we like to see.
In America.
That's what we like to see right there.
Yeah.
So,
I love this stuff, right? Then let's see. The main things that I really kind of wanted to cover, one, just for people who like Bitcoin, it's been getting kicked in the groin year to date. It's down 10% to $84,059. Obviously, it's down like 28% off its high, or 25 or something like that.
I think some people might see that as a bad thing for Bitcoin, but if you look back at like previous cycles in Bitcoin, like these kind of corrections are part of it, because Bitcoin runs on 4-year cycle, and every 4 years there's a halving cycle where like more Bitcoin essentially gets released, and the last time was April of last year, and so typically in the last few cycles, Bitcoin will hit its like peak for the cycle, like 12,
Yeah.
18 months after. So in reality, according to previous cycles, we're really not really even close to the peak now.
Yeah.
But
Because you got 3 more years of growth, is what you're saying?
well,
if you're sticking with the
usually,
4-year
well,
cycle.
yeah, well, usually for Bitcoin's kind of weird. It'll kind of hit that peak and then drop off for a couple years and go back
Oh,
up.
okay.
But I mean, I'm not predicting the future here, so things could always be different. Like we could have maybe already hit the peak. I don't know. I think part of what was causing some of the disruption this week were those tariff announcements. But then there was also like a hack. I think it was I'm pretty sure it was. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it was like North Korean hackers that basically sent out like phishing emails and
Really? Oh, yeah. Is that what happened to
essentially-
Instagram?
Well, I don't know if that's what happened to Instagram, but basically, I think $1.5 billion worth of Ether was
Holy
essentially
cow.
stolen.
No way.
Yeah, and these are on what they call cold wallets. So like, there's no way for these hackers to get into
Yeah,
your
the
money
cold wallets.
without like stealing your information. And so I think these people willingly gave up their information,
Oh, yeah.
thinking that they were giving it to somebody reputable.
Yeah. So, hey, let's talk about that for a second, okay? If you ever receive a phone call from anybody, I don't care who it is, Google, Social Security Administration, requesting that you verify your personal information, you do not do it.
No,
Ever.
no.
Ever. Okay? Worse, if they tell you that there's been a breach in your identity and it's being hacked and stolen, hang up the phone because they're the ones hacking and stealing it.
Exactly.
Okay? And if anyone ever tells you that you need to liquidate your account and wire the money anywhere to protect it, hang up the phone and stop taking their calls because I promise you it's theft.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with like I think crypto scams are just the new thing,
Yeah.
big time. And so some people
No, this happens.
for
This
the
happens with
worse.
IRAs. It happens with Bitcoin. It happens with
will
everything.
give away their seed phrases
no,
straight
no,
up,
yeah.
and that's like giving away your password to your investment accounts.
Yeah, but it literally happens on every kind of account to every age group of
Yeah,
person.
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
There's no. This isn't like. And here's the biggest problem too. People feel dumb because it happened to them, and they're embarrassed by it. Okay. Well, this is getting done to some of the smartest people there are. And they're getting done to 30-year-olds. It's getting done to 50-year-olds. It's getting done to 80-year-olds. It's getting done to people in tech. It's getting done to people in farming. It does not matter who you are. It doesn't matter what age. It doesn't matter any of that. These people are good at what they do.
Yeah, it's pretty sophisticated.
Yeah. So your ultimate defense is just hang the phone up.
Yeah.
Never reveal your information. Never provide passwords. Never, ever, ever, ever. I don't care what they tell you. Hang the phone up.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
I get text messages every day that I have unpaid tolls
me
in
too.
Texas. Okay, and that they're going to suspend my driver's license, and it's always from some weird ass number
Yeah.
with a weird ass
Those aren't
URL.
as-
And
yeah.
I'm just like report and delete, report junk and delete, report junk and delete.
Yeah, those are pretty bad. Like those are pretty clearly.
Yeah, between those and hot chicks going, hey, I forgot, who are you again? I'm just like, report junk and delete, report junk and delete. I know if
wish.
you're a hot chick, you're not calling me.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, let's just get that off the table.
Yeah.
So there's one other, before we go, this is the Murphy's Market Minute. We're supposed to keep it short. There is something that I think is really awesome that's happening. And you just got to be careful as to how you're going to hear it framed. Okay. So consumer spending fell by 0.2% or 20 bips for those of you in the biz. All right. In the month of February. All right. Now, people are going to tell you this is a red flag for the health of the economy, blah, 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 blah. All right. Now, at the same time, income climbed 9%, which smashed all expectations. Okay. And this is one of the things that we're really looking for, personal income to climb. All right. Over the 4 years that Donald Trump was in office, even to include COVID, okay, it climbed 7%, which was the highest amount of personal income growth since 1970. All right. We lost all of that over the next 4 years. And we even went into the negative. So we gave up all the gains we had and went south. All right. So something's happening that is really fantastic. Personal income increased 0.9% in January, its biggest jump for the year, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Personal spending decreased 2%. Now, that's freaking a bunch of people out because one of the things we're trying to fix right now is this economy that's built off consumerism, and we're trying to shift it over to an economy where we actually make and produce things, right? So because consumerism is such a big part of it, but a number of things happened, right, that would have impacted, and these are January's numbers, by the way. They don't have February's yet, right, because it's the 28th.
Yeah.
Auto sales dropped, okay, because there's like a lot of cold weather, right? The Los Angeles wildfires, right, might have also had an impact on that. But in reality, what I just really think, right, is you're coming off of Christmas, right? The January numbers are coming off of Christmas. Consumer debt skyrocketed in December. Why? Christmas.
Yeah.
So now what do? You tighten your belt, unless you're the federal government. You tighten your belt, and you start working towards paying that debt off, right? So it's just funny to me to listen. Like, there's even an article where it's like they're talking about this very same thing, but they frame it very differently. And it's all about how we're about to experience stagflation. All right. Because even there's another metric that came out today about inflation, and it's the Fed's preferred inflation metric. And I think it dropped again. Inflation declined to 2.5 in January, which is down from 2.6 in December. This inflation metric. I know we've talked about other ones where it was over 3.
Yeah. You're talking about the PCE? It probably is. It's like, I think it's like taking out like food and energy cost.
Yeah. It's taken out certain things that they feel are, excluding volatile food and energy categories, core prices dropped, to 2.6, the lowest since June from 2.9. All right. So, of course, they're all trying to claim that the tariffs are going to upend that, even though they did it in 2018, and they did it in January 2024. So, but hey, this time they're gonna it's gonna happen. So
always this time.
Yeah, this time. So, anyways, I think that's all pretty good. I think the market is going to continue to experience a lot of volatility while everybody digests the new normal, which is pick whatever analogy you want: Terminator, the flamethrower, the deep state apocalypse. Whatever you want to, however you want to look at whatever's going on in the White House and the government right now, that's going to definitely keep things, I think, bouncing around a little bit in the markets. Definitely. I think the markets are going to adjust to it or get used to it and go back to going up. We'll see.
I agree.
Anything you want to follow up on that?
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. I think we'll just see. I mean, because you got half the country saying it's going to be a good year, half the country saying it's going to be a bad year.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be just fine.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's going to end up being just like any other year. So
yeah, yep. Now the final thing before we bounce, because it's Friday and Nathaniel's got a hot date or something. What are you doing?
All right, I got a client. I got to train.
Personal training. Personal training.
Yes, sir.
But our next Murphy's Market Minute should be from our new podcast studio, which I'm really looking forward to unveiling for everybody. And it's where we're going to be doing all of our content and pushing it out to everybody, trying to keep you all more informed. So until next week, this is Elliot.
Nathaniel.
Signing off. See you guys.